Oh, what an exciting day it is today. I'm telling you, what an exciting day it is today. Well, guys, it's me, Ethan, here, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the Hot Toys Mandalorian. Now, you'll probably understand why I was starting off the whole time, because today, finally, the first episode of season 2 of The Mandalorian was released. I'm telling you guys, you're going to love it. But with that said, guys, let's get right into the review. Alright, so first thing as always, here's the box, guys. As you can see, we have a nice picture of the actual figure, because I know from what I've heard before, it seems like Hot Toys has put images of like the actual character before, but now they're starting just to take pictures of their figures, which to me, it looks like they've always taken a picture of their figure, to be honest. But anyway, as you can see, we have a picture of the Mandalorian in the front. We have this nice band that goes across the bottom of the box here, as you can see, that has it where it says The Mandalorian, and it's also a new movie masterpiece, or TV Master Series, is my guess what that stands for. But as you can see, we have this nice image again of the Mando holding his blaster, and then we got one on the side here, him just looking menacingly towards his next bounty. And as you can see, again, it's a normal Hot Toys box. But that pretty much wraps up the box here, as you can see. And so, there it is. So now as we open up the box, as you can see, we have now another little art panel. And this time, again, is, of course, the Mando in here. He's in more of an action pose with his actual disruptor rifle, which to me is probably one of the coolest rifles, but we'll get into that later. So as you open up the art panel here, you'll see how the box is set up. Again, it's almost like an ordinary Hot Toys figure display or set up for the inside of the box. As you can see, we have the figure in the middle. He's got a hand panel, or a panel that holds his hands here in the front, and he's got a side panel which holds his blaster, or his rifle, I should say. But pretty much that wraps up the inside of the box. So now what we're going to take a look at is now the accessories. Alright, so here's all the accessories that the Mando mostly comes with, or well, he doesn't mostly come with. This is pretty much all the accessories he comes with. So the first thing we'll start off with, which everyone probably wants, is of course the disruptor rifle. As you can see, this rifle is, honestly, it's probably one of the biggest rifles I've ever seen for a figure. Because it's as, I'll show you guys later, but this rifle is pretty much as tall as the Mandalorian, which is ridiculous, but you know what, it's a powerful weapon, so you gotta make it big, make it look powerful, you know. So one thing that's cool about this is that it does come with the little band here that you can strap onto the Mandalorian, so you can actually make it authentic looking. So there are quite a good amount of functions in here, as you can see, to allow you to pose this thing and make it look like it's actually sitting natural. And then here we have the scope, which what's cool about the scope here, you can actually take it off. Now this is my first time taking it off, so I'm going to be just a little bit gentle with it, and I would recommend you guys being gentle with it. But as you can see, before I show it off, it's just placed in there with these little studs. Yes, I'm calling them studs just because I'm used to saying studs for Lego. But as you can see here, we have a nice little telescope piece here, or the actual sight, if you want to call it that, for the rifle, which it is. But you also see the Mando use it as a little telescope rangefinder thing. So again, as you can see, pretty good amount of detail. Again, nothing really I can say about this, but it is pretty much accurate to what it looks like in the actual show. So what we'll do with that now is put it back on here, which again, should just go in pretty nicely. Don't think I'm putting, there we go. I think that's correct. I think that's correct. But, so that's one of the functions on here. You could take off this. Another cool function, which everyone probably would want to see in this, is the actual lift there to put your cartridge in, which, speaking of which, we have a little cartridge, which the Mando comes with like a lot of these things, but like not all of them are able to come off. But as you can see, what we can do with this now is you can just slide it in there, and well, it's gone now. Well, there it is. But you can see you can just slide it in there and then close it up like he's going to fire it. And then it should be easy to take this out. Again, yeah, there you go. It just slides right out. So you don't have to worry about it getting stuck. I wouldn't I wouldn't try to, if it doesn't go in right away, I wouldn't try to force it in there, because honestly then your chances of it getting stuck in there are greater. And so really it should, I can't say that it's just mine, but all your, if you ever get one, it should just have it where it slides out. But don't take my word for it. Make sure you test it before you end up actually ruining your figure. So with that said, that wraps up the rifle here. So we'll go to the next blaster he has, which is the little blaster pistol he has. I'm not sure exactly what the name is. If you guys know it, make sure to leave a comment down below and I'll give you a shout out. But here you can see we have the blaster. Again, I have it held in his hand just because it just was a little bit hard to get in and a little bit hard to get out too. I was kind of struggling with trying to get it out, but I just said, screw it, I'm gonna leave it in the hand. But as you can see, very nice detailing. You can see a little bit of weathering, not a lot to be honest, not a lot, but honestly, his blaster, from what I remember in the show, it didn't really look that weathered. But again, you can see you got some nice paint apps, you got nice barrel here, you got the handle grip, of course, is painted nicely. And that's really what I can say about the actual blaster. And then you can see his hand too here. Very nicely detailed. Again, just matches exactly what the show has. A little bit of weathering here on the side, or under palm armor, I guess, or back of the hand armor. I'm not exactly sure what it's called, but I think it would be part of the gauntlet, to be honest, or glove. But that wraps up that. Another thing he comes with, before I forget about it, that actually went with the rifle, is this electro piece. So what you're supposed to do with this, which hopefully I can do here, is that there is these two holes that are in here, which are a little bit hard to find, but once you find them, you'll see them. And I think I'm supposed to put this the other way. There we go. Yeah, there we go. So the way that this is supposed to go on, you put it through those two holes there. Now I think I have this upside down, but you can still get the point. There's two little holes that you would put the prongs of the rifle in. And from there, they should just stick in there, and then you have your lightning effect, or your electrocuting effect that you want to pull off. And speaking of which, here we go to the actual front of the gun. You can see it's very nicely weathered. It's got that nice used film, which it's not really appearing on camera, but if you see it, you can see how it's going a little bit yellow to pink than to blue. So it looks like it's been used multiple times. A lot, so which is pretty cool. Another thing he comes with two fisted hands, which again, like all the Hot Toys figures besides, I don't know which ones, but mostly all of them come with fisted hands. He's got two other hands. He's got one that's more relaxed. He actually comes with two hands that are actually more relaxed. One of them is already on him, but this is like the one he'll come in when you get him out of the box, is this one for his right. Again, another just relaxed hand, since the Mando really did, when he was walking, have more relaxed, open hands more than closed, fisted hands. But at least they give you the fist if you're doing like a fist fight or something, which is pretty cool. Then here we have the actual hand that's supposed to be meant to hold both the actual little disc grenade, which anyway, you're going to have to, there we go. It's supposed to actually hold the little disc grenade, so here you can see the little disc grenade here too. It's pretty good. Pretty cool looking little weapon too as well. Again, I wish they kind of made a little bit of an open palm hand, so you could just put the actual the actual charge on there on his hand, just to make it look like he's just holding it, just because, instead of having it like this. But still, this gives him a great option, because it also includes where, if I get back the little telescope here, or rangefinder thing, whatever you want to call it, you can actually put it in his hand, or it's designed to be put in his hand like this. So then you can recreate that scene from when he's about to be attacking or scouting where Baby Yoda would be before we knew he was there. You can recreate that scene. So again, it's pretty cool. So it's kind of a neat feature though that Hot Toys made. Instead of making another hand, instead of giving us like 7 hands, they have it where they give us at least the 6 hands in total, one being able to be used for multiple things, which is pretty cool. Which again, Is what's nice about Hot Toys. Then another thing before we get onto the figure, because I know all you guys want to get to the figure, we have the little tracking beacon or tracking fob, which is pretty cool. Again, I really thought this was going to be a solid plastic piece, but no, actually the little antennas things up here is actually a softer plastic material, so at least it'll give you some flexibility when you're putting it into his belt, which is cool. Then we also have his last shoulder armor, which is really cool because, again, this just means we're a couple steps closer in actually getting the Beskar Mando, since honestly the only thing they're really changing is just the armor for mostly the upper torso. But again, you can see we have this nice Beskar shoulder pauldron, which is really cool. Again, it's a little bit darker than the all Beskar Mando. Shoot. But again, it's not that bad. It's got really good weathering. It matches the color of the helmet, which is cool because, again, the helmet's not like it's all shiny, brand new yet. So again, it's supposed to match that type of armor. But again, that's pretty cool. And so that pretty much wraps up the accessories. Don't worry, I'll get to the stand here in a second. But with that said and done, let's now look at the actual figure. Well, here he is, guys. Here is the actual Mando. As you can see, again, very awesome job on Hot Toys part on nailing this figure, because there is figures they will absolutely nail, and this is one of them. Honestly, I really think they did this just because it's the Mandalorian. Who doesn't like Mandalorians? And on top of that, here Hot Toys has been releasing a lot of stuff with the Mandalorians, with just the show, I should say, the Hot Toy Mandalorian show, or not Hot Toy Mandalorian show, but you get it. But they've been releasing a lot of figures lately. And this was back like first when this guy first was introduced. They released then IG-11, which I think was introduced around the same time he was. Then they had the Heavy Mandalorian, the Incendiary Trooper, the Remnant Trooper, which came a little bit earlier, but anyway. And then they had the Scout Trooper, the Beskar Armor Mandalorian, which probably everyone was kind of expecting, but also blew everyone's minds. And then recently now they have the one of the Mandalorian that saved Din Djarin back when he was a younger boy. So again, Hot Toys is definitely going really far on the Mandalorian line, which is cool because that's the line I'm trying to collect. But as well, we got Clone Wars stuff, but that'll come later on once I get a clone figure in. So anyway, as you can see here, we have the Mando. Again, very nicely detailed and all that. Again, looks exactly like the one in the show, just even by the way he, like, you can pose him. Just standing there. He looks exactly like the show one. But again, you can see he's got a bunch of scratches and dents in his armor here. Mostly just, I think, more scratches. But again, you rub your finger over some of them, you can actually feel they're a little bit indented, which is really cool because it's, again, attention to detail, which is, Hot Toys is pretty good on that part. Sadly, like on the shoulder pad, this one here is just painted on. That's no indent on that one. The ones even on the gauntlets here, nothing either. But again, you can see some of the detail here too. They try to provide a little bit of a light up function, since this is a light up, or since this does light up in there. When I say light up function, that does not mean it lights up. It's just there to pretend it looks like it's lighting up, but it really doesn't. So again, it's just more of a reflective sticker. But again, even when you go down farther than the legs, you can see more of the armor here. Which here, if I move my hand, you can see more indents, more dents, more scratches, just a bunch of weathering here. Again, this is probably like the Mandalorian is probably one of the best shows, honestly, to me, that Star Wars has made so far, besides the movies. But again, it's awesome to see this, because again, it's just, I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. Was so hyped about this figure and finally having it. It's so hard to explain just because I was so excited for this thing. But again, you can see we have some more detail down here. We got some more of those cartridges for the disruptor rifle again. We have a knee pad, which was funny about that. I was paying attention to how the one towards the ending of season 1, how he actually did not, from what I believe seeing, he did not have that knee pad. But now when you look at the Mandalorian season 2, I swear he has that knee pad now again. So I don't know what made him change it into wearing that again, but they had it where that was completely missing, I think, from what I remember seeing. But anyway, that's that. Then you can see again more of his belt here, since we skipped the belt here a little bit. Again, we got some nice detail. We got little pockets here. We got where you would put the grenades in here. Move his arm. There is a couple more. The one that's missing is the one that I showed earlier. Again, more of these cartridges for the disruptor rifle, and even when we go to the back here, if I flip up the cape, you can see we got even more of those too, as well as we actually have some back detailing, which I can't say I wasn't expecting there not to be back armor, because he's been shot in the back a couple times, but again, he's got some back armor, which is pretty cool. You can see the belt even continues back here. It's got some more pouches, which is, this one's exactly the same one that's on the front of the belt here. You can even see that you can take this belt off too. We have this nice little pleather piece here that acts as holding another way of holding the blaster down on his back, which is cool. You can see we got the side skirt armor, which is pretty cool. Again, this can get out of the way, so when you're posing this thing, this really can get pretty far out there. And on top of that, I think it's Velcro. Yes, it's Velcro. So if you ever want to take those off, you can. The butt armor here, if you want to call it that, this is actually, I believe, connected with the belt, which, yeah, as you can see, it is. Unless it probably actually is Velcroed to the back here, but I can't tell. I think it's more Velcro to the belt, but again, that can be removed as well. So mostly, like a lot of people have said, this armor in the Mandalorian has Hot Toys put it on where it's all just held by what's it called? I'm gonna have to fix that, but it's all held by Velcro. So anyway, if you want, you can take off all the armor on the figure if you just want to have him wearing his helmet, which I guess it's fine, but you'll still see the Velcro underneath, so that's just the one downside about it. But anyway, it's not really that big of a downside, because at least if you're having trouble, if you don't like how the armor is arranged, you can rearrange it. And that's what I kind of had to do for the actual chest panel here. I had to rearrange it when I first got it, because to me, it felt like it was sitting too low when I was looking at photos of the Mando. It seemed like it was sitting too low, so because just up here, it was like it was showing a lot of this, of the cape, which I know it wasn't showing as much, but again, as you can see, it's still, but even now it still looks even, I think I got it looking to what it's supposed to look like now, but still, it's pretty cool. He does come with, so this is where the swap out shoulder pad would come into play. I'll just show this just because, but here you can also see the Velcro. So again, just easily comes off. This really reminds me of a Stormtrooper pauldron, which I'll show later on once I do the Remnant Stormtrooper review. It looks exactly like his pauldron, so I really think the Mando stole it from a Stormtrooper, to be honest. But who knows? So anyway, what you can do with this now, you can just place this one right on top of the actual where the other pauldron was, and then you can make him look like how he looked after, like, I think the first, yeah, it was like the first scene or first episode where he gets this pauldron, I believe it's this one. It's either this one or the second one, but I think it's more of the first one, because then I think it's either the second or third is when he gets all of his Beskar armor. So again, you can see you can do the swap out pauldrons though, which is pretty cool. So again, looks pretty cool. And it looks exactly like the Mandalorian. So now I'm going to put him off to the side here so I can just show off the stand, since I said that earlier. Here you can see he's got a nice stand. Now, sadly, we've seen this stand multiple times. This is now my second version of this stand, but instead of being crate, because I actually have crate Luke, it's now more of a desert theme of like Tatooine, I believe. I believe it's Tatooine, because that's when you start seeing these helmets, so it is Tatooine. But again, it's pretty cool. You got a metal nameplate that says the Mandalorian. Then you got the Stormtrooper helmet on the stake, which is pretty cool. Again, a little bit of I just have to complain a little bit to it. I still love it, but I really wish it was a Rogue One Stormtrooper helmet, because it was just more accurate to the film. But at the same time, when you think about it, this would be the correct helmet, since the Empire fell, and that's the Return of the Jedi Stormtrooper helmet. That's pretty accurate too. So I don't get what made them decide the Rogue One armor, but again, I think it's just because of it was easy to make. But at the same time, I kind of like it because honestly, I think the Rogue One Stormtrooper looks pretty good. But with that said and done, let's actually now end this video by making a few poses as the Mando and telling you guys why I recommend you buying it. Well guys, that pretty much wraps up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I definitely would recommend you picking up this Mandalorian. If you are still on the fence on which one to get, either the Beskar or this one, I really recommend this one right now, but who knows, by when the Beskar comes out, it might be the Beskar one. But seriously though, I still think both of these figures are awesome. So again guys, I would recommend you picking up both of them. He is up on Sideshow right now. He is for still pre-order, even though I got mine like a couple weeks ago, almost a month ago. But he still is on a pre-order, so you might be waiting still. But anyway, guys, there might be a third version of him coming up here soon, but we'll only see by next week. So hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.